Hello, welcome to Laird Wellness Live. Scott Laird.
Jodi Laird, good evening.
We are in a new atmosphere. This is a different corner of the room. We thought we'd try this out, see what it's like. Let us know if you like it. Anyway, welcome. Tonight is quite the night. We are telling you all about our new 8-week wellness program. Mm-hmm. And this is very exciting because we used to have a 6-week program.
Yes.
And we had a 12-week program.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided, let's make it simple. It's sort of like just 2 months. And we're going to add some different things to it. We had a lot of requests for something we're going to tell you about tonight.
Right.
That we added to our program. I think you'll be very happy that we did. It's going to offer you all kinds of guidance through the week that lets you know more of what you're doing, more comfort with what you're doing. And it's all, again, customized to you. We found this great tool that we can add to this, and we'll give it to you with the program. So it's amazing. It's really cool. So we're going to talk about that tonight.
Right.
And we're going to go through everything you get. We're just going to show you there's like 10 different things that you get with this program. And it's really, I like it because it gives you an opportunity a little bit longer than 6 weeks. So it gives you like 2 whole months. And then usually what we do is before we had like a 3-month program and we let you test again. So we test at the beginning, right? And then we test you at the end to see how you did. Then 6 weeks wasn't quite enough to do that. And even 8 weeks is not quite enough to do that. So we're going to teach you for 2 months and then we're going to kind of push you out of the nest for a month. See how you do on your own. And then you rebook the test at your leisure, and we're going to give you a percentage off of that test as well. So basically, you'll have enough confidence at the end of 8 weeks to do this on your own. And then to prove it to yourself, after the end of, say, another month or two of doing that, you can go for as long as you want, but 1 month would probably be enough after that. You can test and we'll find out how you did on your own, right? So how you continued on and did the things that we taught you. Anyway, why would you do this program? Good question. So the reason why you'd want to do this program, well, there's all kinds of different problems folks have, but really what it is we're not sure what we're up against, right? We're always guessing.
Right.
People are taking supplements, watching shows. Oh, I saw this on this show, or I saw a commercial for that on Facebook, and so I just tried it. Well, why? Why did you do that? Why didn't you test first to see if you needed it at all?
Right. Exactly.
Right. So that's what we need to do. We need to test before we know what's going on. So why would you want to test? Well, I feel fine. Nothing's wrong with me. Okay. Well, Jodi, you have a story about your tooth. Nothing was wrong with you, right?
Right.
So tell them so you didn't feel anything, right? I mean.
No, I had no pain at all. I did have a little pressure, but it was during the COVID days, the pandemic days. So I thought, well, maybe this is the way I'm expressing it because
nobody knew, right? It was just symptoms everywhere.
And I don't really hardly ever get sick with the flu or a cold. So I thought, well, maybe this is me and how I'm just going to handle it. And so I just kind of let it go. Come to know about 6 months ago, I went to the dentist and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to check this out because I have this weird pressure thing going on. And wouldn't you know it, I had an infection. And I left it so long that they had to take 2 teeth, which is terrible at my age, or any age, really. It's devastating when they have to take teeth. My goodness. But it was because I had left it too long and it was literally pushing against the membrane of my sinuses. That's why the sinus pressure.
Yep. Yeah, and so there you go. Jodi didn't feel anything, felt just fine, knew she had a thyroid issue, but certainly it wouldn't have nothing to do with your teeth or anything, and maybe it never did, but still, there was an issue there. So we want to get you ready for what's coming. I mean, the last couple of years should teach us, right? There's forces against us, and we don't know what's coming next, and we don't know if we're going to have access to everything that we have access to right now. Right. So it's really worth it to find out what you're up against right now. Start taking care of that so that if it all hits the fan, you're not left going, oh my gosh, I didn't know I had this. Now my health is bad. I don't know what to do. This is so you will know what to do. You will definitely know what to do. I think of Angie that I work with, and she did our program early on. She is still doing fabulous because she continues to do the things that we taught her.
Right.
And, it's not like you need us forever. You need us for about 8 weeks. You'll learn all this stuff. It's stuff you will retain forever because it changes your life just the way you do things, forms new habits. And she is still going strong. She's still making changes, positive changes in her life, and she's maintaining things. So that's wonderful. And that goes for most people that go through our program.
I can think of the Tebows. I could think of you know, the Weisenbakers and who else?
Lots of folks.
Yeah, Sarah.
Sarah especially. My gosh, Sarah. Now Sarah has actually encouraged her relatives to come and do this with us. So beautiful, wonderful thing. So again, all you need to do is just learn a little bit, and then you can go off on your own, and you have an entire new life, and you know what's wrong, what's not wrong, what you can focus on, you know, the supplements and stuff you can ignore on Facebook, and really what you need. And you'll also have some good habits that'll lead you through any kind of prepping situation or anything like that.
Right.
And you'll have all the tools at your disposal and a way to do it without doctors, without hospitals, without insurance, any of that garbage. You can just come to us, test. We have folks on our side, doctors, who know what they're talking about. And you will get some really good pointers, really good suggestions, and how to lead a new, healthier life, even if you didn't think anything was wrong. I didn't think anything was wrong with me, and I'm going to show you my test results. I had to make some changes, and I'm the guy with the degree on the wall. I thought I was doing great, but I wasn't, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So first of all, let's go through these 10 things here. So first of all here, the thing I wanted to show you first was this. Okay, so we're going to go one by one here what you get. Here's the first thing you get. You get an initial blood lab and 60-minute consult with me. So Jodi actually arranges that for you.
Yeah.
And there's 55 biomarkers. That means they're testing for 55 different things. And what we do is we put it into an algorithm that tells you your risk of developing diabetes, heart disease, cancer, brain issues, all these types of things. 10 of the most common things that Americans suffer with. And we're going to show you why the parameters on your blood test are not necessarily the ones you want to go by, because that'll keep you alive. But we're going to go by some parameters that will keep you really well.
Right.
So there's even a difference there. So we'll read the blood labs even differently than a doctor would or a hospital would. And we're going to be testing things that they would not normally test either, because they don't see the value in them. We do. We really do. And so this algorithm then turns around and says, what degree on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your risk of developing each one of these things? It's not a diagnosis. It's very preventative. You look at that and go, I'm pretty far along as far as the diabetes marker goes. Maybe I need to turn that around. The cancer one, I'm okay. I'm way down here. I don't need to really make changes that way. But you make changes according to what you need to do. That's why it's really individualized. This is not a cookie cutter program.
No.
We make sure that it's customized to everyone, and that's why I'm really excited. I think it's like point number 2. Good, it's not very far off, because I really want to tell you about it. But anyway, so this is the initial blood lab. So there's 55 biomarkers.
Plus the 2, is there not more? 2 more?
Yeah, we'll give them the bonus, right?
Yeah.
2 more that really tell you interesting things that you would not normally know. Most doctors would not even think to give you these 2 extra ones that really tell you about what we call stealth infections.
Yeah.
These are infections that kind of show up and then they hide, and then they show up and they hide, and then they hide from the immune system. The immune system has a hard time finding them.
You may not think that you have symptoms regarding any of these pathogens. However, they may be wreaking havoc on your health, and you really don't even know. I mean, wow. I know this personally, and I know because I see all the labs.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, how can it wreak havoc and you don't know? Like, what is it wreaking havoc on that you wouldn't feel?
Well, some people just don't feel well, and they don't know why they don't feel well, because the rest of their labs look good. But these things are never, ever tested.
So that if they went to a doctor and got normal labs that wouldn't include this, the doctor would say, fine, see you next year.
And I know I've talked about...
And meanwhile, you're going, no, something's wrong, that kind of thing?
Right. Okay. And I know I've talked about my personal issue, that I have Mycoplasma pneumoniae antibodies. And, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did my thyroid condition come because of that? Or did I get this because of my thyroid condition? I mean, it all goes back. And this specific one likes to hide in organs like lungs, like thyroids, like pancreases. So these are things, and it doesn't have a cell wall. So if you know anything about science or anything, if it doesn't have a cell wall, it literally likes to burrow and kind of be a parasite on that particular organ that it invades.
Because usually the mode of getting rid of something like that is to break the cell wall, go in and destroy. It's almost like breaking down a wall of a city, and then you've got it, right?
Yeah.
Well, this thing doesn't have a wall. Now what?
Right.
So-
So it's pretty hard to get
Yep.
rid of, and you have to be diligent.
Now, I want to show you what my labs look like. So these are literally my labs. I don't mind showing you them. When I get the results from the 55 biomarkers, we get something called a chronic disease temperature, is what Dr. Lewis calls it. Dr. Tom Lewis is the guy who developed this algorithm. He's a, what does he call himself? He's a chemical scientist.
Yep.
Medical scientist.
PhD
Medical scientist.
from
He's got
MIT.
PhD. Yep. PhD from MIT, all kinds of letters there. And he's really brilliant, and he's really good with math and chemistry and the body. So you put those three things together, and wow, you got some really cool stuff. So he created this thing called the chronic disease temperature. Basically, if you're completely well, you have your health has a temperature of 98.6, right? Regular temperature. And then if you're really, really bad off, it's 104 plus or so. And this is what it looks like on a graph. So he gives you this at the end of your test. So I am doing not bad, 99.5. You'll notice that I'm not doing perfect though.
But I tell you, I would say of all the labs I see every day, you're probably in the top 5%.
Okay.
I hardly ever see a 99.5 or lower.
And that's because we're diligently looking after ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing you can really depend on, guys, is if you're looking at this and you're going, gee, is that worth it? Are they going to teach me good things? Well, I'll tell you what, we try things first before we give it to you. And so we make sure we're doing the program. We're making sure, hey, if we're telling somebody to eat this type of food and do this kind of exercise and take this kind of supplement, is it working? How does it make us feel? And we're really like, we've been doing this for a long time, so we can tell the differences. If I take magnesium every night, I can tell what it's doing for me. And the day that I don't, or the day I forget, I can really tell during that sleep. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the next time I talk to somebody who's having issues like me, having a hard time sleeping, can I have a little sip of that, by the way?
Yes.
I am really parched and I didn't bring a drink up here. All right.
It's tea with lipstick.
Well, I drank out of the other side, so I won't get the lipstick. Anyway, we test stuff first before we give it to you. So another thing that you get with this test is the results, and it's really easy to read. Now, you might look at this and go, that's not easy to read. Well, that's what I'm here for. I get to show you what this means, explain it all. But really what it is just, looking at the color. So let's take a look at the colors here. So obviously green means good, yellow means, there's some things to work on, and then orange and red are, okay, we really got to do something about this. So, excuse me, you'll see that my numbers aren't perfect, yet I was 99.5. So some people look at their results and they freak out, and it's like, there's nothing to freak out about. They see all the colors and like, oh no, I got this wrong, I got that wrong, and nobody wants anything wrong with them, right? And that's another reason folks don't test. They're afraid to see what's wrong.
Right.
Don't be afraid, because we're doing preventative stuff here. Do it now. It's better for us to say, hey, you're kind of on the way to diabetes, rather than going to the doctor and doctor saying, you have diabetes.
Let's
So
put you on metformin.
Let's put you on metformin. Don't wait. So you'll see that, mine aren't perfect and I have things to work on, but this is the great thing about this test. So look on the second row, by the way. Second row, first one in the heart category. WBC, that is the white blood cells, and they're slightly elevated. I should be at 5,800. Now, here's the other thing. So the doctor would tell you that if you're above 14,000, there's something to worry about. We say, no. We're much fussier than that. If you're above 5,800, there's something we should probably look at.
Right.
Nothing to worry about, but we never want to get you to that worry stage. That's the whole point of this. We want you to be well, not just staying alive. And then once you cross that magic line of having diabetes or cancer or whatever, you get this diagnosis. Diagnoses are fake. Once you cross a certain line, and then once you cross back over that line, you don't have that thing anymore. Well, that's kind of silly. We're all on this kind of continuum. How much diabetes do you have? How much cancer do you have? How much of everything do you have? Let's just pull you back from all of it, rather than labeling with something and then having this psychological pressure put on you that, oh my God, I have cancer. And that's another thing. If a doctor ever tells you that, God forbid, that you've got one of these things, don't claim it. Don't call it my cancer. Don't call it my diabetes. Don't claim that stuff. Your words have power. Toss that out. Read the Bible. Realize that you need to say, I am healed. This is going to be gone. I believe God has already healed me. I just need to get there. Do the right things. You'd be amazed the power that has. I used to work at a place called the Hallelujah Diet. Granted, it was a Christian place, but the people that had a positive attitude, and did the very same things as those who had a negative attitude, had much better outcomes than those that had the negative attitudes. They did the same things. They did the juicing. They removed all these things from their diets. This was like a vegan place. And, we saw a lot of cancers reversed. But
Right.
those who survived more than those who didn't were the ones who had the positive attitude and believed that they were going to be well. Yeah, it was amazing. Anyway, so we'll show you all that kind of good stuff, tell you where you need to go. So that is the consult that you get. So you get an hour-long consult with me, and then we have an hour-long conversation after that to get you started. And after that, it's half hours. Every week we'll meet with you for half an hour, basically tell you what to do next, and we'll get into that in just a second. But it really doesn't take that much time at all. And there's some videos we like to give you as well, and we'll talk about those in a sec. But first, I want to get to the thing that I was so excited about.
Okay.
Okay, this is something we've never had before, and we discovered a way to do this for you, and it's so super cool. It's amazing. It was something that people had asked for. We're thinking, gosh, we don't have time to put this together. How are we
Right.
going to do this? We discovered some software that can do it for us. And it can even pick the things you like and pick the things you don't like. We are talking about food. A customized 8-week meal plan and grocery list. It will tell you exactly what you need to buy for that entire week of of recipes. If you don't want to have something in the morning, like we teach, a lot of what we teach is intermittent fasting, we can just turn off breakfast. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. It will just calculate, okay, you don't want breakfast, here's lunch and dinner. And it has all kinds of variety, not really weird stuff you're going to have to go to some strange herbal store in the corner of the next town to get. It's stuff you'll find at a regular good grocery store. Most of it you'll probably find at a Walmart. Really great stuff. And again, it's 8 weeks of meals. 8 weeks. Let's say, for example, you're skipping dinner. So you would have a lunch and a dinner every day, 7 days a week, different recipes every time for 8 weeks. And technically, that will take you beyond the time that we're even visiting with you with coaching sessions.
Right.
That'll take you into the time where you're actually testing yourself for another month before you do another retest. So that's really cool. And I have a couple of screenshots here to show you. So here's a lunch. Take a look at this. So it shows you, look at that detail in this thing. And we were amazed to find it. And the greatest thing is, it's not even going to increase the cost of the program.
Right.
Because it was so affordable. And we're just going to pass it on to you because it's so great. So day one. So it's just a day in the life here. It tells you, look at the top there, how many calories you're going to consume in the day. How many grams of carbs, how much fiber, how much fat, how much protein. So if we are trying to calculate, and that was one of the sticking points we had, is a lot of folks who come to us have sugar issues.
Yeah.
And the body has two fuels, sugar or fat. So obviously you want to reduce the sugar and go more fat. So when you're reducing the sugar, that means reducing the carbohydrates. And folks really have a hard time counting that. They forget they ate something, or I don't know how to do the calculation. Oh, it's so pain in the butt. This will give you the meals and a snack during the day. I didn't know this thing had snacks, but it does.
Huh.
And it will calculate, there you go, the whole day, how many carbs you're going to have, how much fiber, and we know exactly what you're doing. We can keep track of things without even thinking about it. All we have to do is follow the recipe, literally. So here's the lunch.
And I mean, I don't know if this is directed to, especially for you. Did you fill it out for you and what you wanted to accomplish?
So basically we fill it out for you. So here's what we do. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
But the only reason why I said is because you're not going to be without food. I just noticed at the top for the day it was 2,100 calories. That's normal, people. You're not starving yourself, but you're not eating 5,000 where you're going to gain weight. 2,000, that's, RDA, basically.
Yeah, and even when you do, we teach a lot of intermittent fasting. Usually that's a pretty good idea for most people. And it's not that you're eating, it's not a calorie restriction thing. It is eating the same amount of calories, just pushing them into different hours. And what that does is allow your body to do all kinds of cleanup, which we can talk about, when you sign up, and we won't bore you with that now. But
eating more fats will satiate you and feed your brain, which we all need our brain fed a little bit more.
Yep. So this is great stuff. So this meal plan is an awesome thing. So let's just go back here and take a look at this lunch again. What have we got? So there's tuna. Look at 894 calories.
I know.
800 calorie salad. What the heck? This is great. So anyway, that is a a lunch, and then here is a dinner. And I'm going to talk about when you talked about customizing in a second here. So here's a dinner with peppered steak and all this kind of thing. And they even have a snack. So take a look at the snack here. They even have a snack worth 115 calories. How do you make it? It's a coconut avocado smoothie. And if you told someone to make that, they'd be like, well, how the heck do I make that? Well, here's how you make that.
Right.
Pretty easy. And so the greatest thing about this was I made this for myself to test it out. Because like we said, we're going to do this before we give this to you. And I was able to go through and pick the things I wanted. So basically, after we do your blood testing consult, what happens next is we're going to meet and teach you how to use a couple other things we're going to tell you about in a second, and also go through this. We're going to make your meal plan together. It only takes a few minutes. It takes a few hours for the software to put it together. I mean, it's that detailed. It actually took 3 hours for the software to put it together. Yeah, so it was crazy. But anyway, so what we do is we're going to get on the phone. I'm going to say, or we're going to get on Zoom. We like doing this by a Zoom. And I'll say, do you like avocados? Do you like tuna? Do you like steak? Yes, no, yes, no. And all we have to do is just click a few boxes and it will make plans based on your picks. If you don't like pickles, great. Don't use pickles. It won't even be in the recipes. How about that? That's great. And then another great thing about it is that, it counts the calories and it puts the foods in for you. But for folks like us, and maybe you're like this too, where we are messianic believers. So we believe in staying, we keep our diet according to the Bible. Now, not according to, Jewish kosher laws necessarily, but it's just if the Bible says don't eat crab and don't eat shrimp, okay, we won't do that. Don't eat pork. There's a whole section called pork, and I can just exit out. And it's gone. You won't have any recipes where you have to go, oh, well, I don't eat pork. I guess I'll substitute with lamb. No, none of that. It's very customized exactly to you. Can you tell I'm excited about this?
Yes.
This thing is awesome. I mean, this was the missing piece from our previous programs that I'm sure if you did our previous program and you're watching this now going, great, you found that now. But it's a great benefit for those starting now. And we might even have it on our website for those who've done the program and actually want something like this.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that'll be something for a little bit later on.
Does it not come with exercise as well?
It can.
It can?
Yeah, it can. And
For
if you
an
want to
extra-
do that, no, I don't think it's any extra. I didn't look deeper into that.
Yeah,
But
because
we can
some
add-
people and I did the program and I did I did the customized plan for myself and I included the exercise. And it's basically HIIT routines. So like 20 minutes a day
really? Okay.
of a HIIT routine. So you get your heartbeat up there and everything, but it can all be done in like a 8x8 space.
Yep. And there again, we can determine, if you're in a space where, we don't want to do anything just yet. I mean, if you're really in a fragile state, of course, we won't be doing HIIT routines, but we can customize that
Well,
too.
you can also do like light, moderate, and heavy, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I think
Great.
I just picked a moderate for myself. So I did that plan, plus also did the exercise with it when I did it.
Oh, great. Wonderful. And there's a couple of other extras too. We can talk about it when you sign up and we'll go through it all. If you want it all, we'll get it all. It's a great thing. All right. So the next thing you get is 30-minute coaching sessions every 7 days. Now, that's typically with me. Jodi's doing her thing in the background, so she probably won't join us for those, but I'll be here with you. And what I do is I go through and we look at, okay, here's your first week. How advanced are you? How beginner are you? So we'll determine where you're at, give you some things to do. So basically, here's some ideas, and all the notes I take, you get every week. I'll send them to you right after we're done, send you by email. Here's all the notes. You don't have to guess. You don't have to write anything down. Just enjoy yourself. Let's talk, and let's figure out your plan for the week. And of course, part of the plan will be giving you your recipes, so you'll get your recipes. And then we'll say, okay, well, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. Maybe eliminate your house of these temptations, get rid of the white flour and white sugar or that type of thing, or whatever we need to do, and give you some tasks to do, give you some things to look into. And we'll also get some readings. Where are we going to get readings from? Well, we'll show you where we're going to get that from in a couple of steps here. We're going to give you some equipment. And what we'll do is check in every week with that equipment to see how you're doing. And that's exciting too, because you get to see from the numbers that you're reading on the screen, hey, I'm doing something.
Right.
Hey, I'm getting better. And that just gives you more motivation, right? And with the recipe plan, gosh, that's going to be even easier than ever. Right. I think this is going to be awesome. So anyway, 30-minute coaching sessions every 7 days. And so we have the session, and before we go, we plan another one so we know that the next one's coming up and we're not going to miss a beat.
Yep.
So that is the greatest thing about that. Now, another thing we're going to do is we're going to give you, in between those coaching sessions, some videos to watch. Jodi and I just went to the production group in Charlotte, and they shot 6 videos with us, 6 half-hour videos on things that everybody needs to know. So, on those coaching sessions that I do with you personally, that's what you specifically need to know. Right? I know you're struggling with this, or you've had a history with cancer, or I know the diabetes is in your past and it's creeping up on you again. Whatever your situation is, we'll talk about that on the 6 half-hour sessions that we do every week. 6, 7, around there. The whole program is 8 weeks from kind of beginning to end. And in the middle there's about 6 or 7 coaching sessions. But anyway, so we'll talk about your personalized stuff there. But there's certain things that everybody needs to know, and not everybody knows. Like, when you have an occupation, so let's say you're a mechanic or a doctor, you know how to fix a car or fix a person, but you don't necessarily know good diet. You don't know that magnesium will empower your mitochondria in your cells to give you energy during the day and force you to sleep at night, right? Things like that. That's the stuff we know. And that's just stuff we think everybody knows,
right.
but nobody knows, right? Everybody's an expert in their own thing. So we're going to teach you things that we think everybody should know, but just doesn't. Yeah. Stuff that comes second nature to us, and we tell people as if it's nothing, and they're like, wait, what? What did you say?
Right.
And we're thinking, you didn't know that? No. They're experts in their field. So we're going to teach you these things so that you can be an expert in another field, and then you can go teach your family these things. And again, we teach these things. I think this is the most valuable things we can teach folks is some of these videos.
Yeah.
We give videos to people, and sometimes they say, oh, I didn't watch it. And I'm like, I'm not going to give you the next one till you watch this one, because you need to learn all this stuff. And it's really practical things. Like the first one, for example, is the one I think is one of the most important things you ever need to learn is how to read a food label.
Right.
And you might go, oh, come on. Oh, really? You know the trickery that's behind the marketing in those labels? I was in marketing for food labels and genetically modified seeds for 13 years. I know the game. I know how this is played, and I know how to unravel it and make sure you don't get caught up in it. And that's the things I'm going to teach you. One of the most valuable things ever. And you'll find it turns into a habit, like I said before. From now on, you will never go into the grocery store and pick up something, go, oh, that looks good, and throw it in your cart.
Yep.
You're going to pick it up, say, oh, that's interesting marketing on the front. Wonder what the real story is. Turn it around and read it and know what you're reading and know what you're looking for. And then determine, oh, nope, that one goes back on the shelf. Let me pick another one. Sometimes I spend like 5 minutes in the peanut butter area because I'm like, that one ain't good, that one ain't good, that one ain't good. Oh, the one way down there that doesn't have money for marketing and they stuck way down at the floor, that's the one you want because it's actually the best one.
And we don't eat peanut butter, but our son...
No, just for an example.
Right.
Yeah.
Our son does.
Our son does. I wouldn't advise peanut butter. It's just full of aflatoxin. We can get into that another time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're going to get these 6 half-hour videos, extremely valuable. And can you download them? Can you keep them? Yes, of course. If you want to, go ahead. Just ask and we'll give you the file. No problem at all. I mean, that's just something we want you to be able to have, pass around to friends and family. As many people as can learn this as possible, yes, by all means. That's something we'd like to have a lot of people know about. The next thing we want to tell you about is some of the equipment that you're going to get. You're going to get 2 pieces of equipment. The first thing is a bioimpedance body scanning equipment. What the heck is that? Fancy name for a really cool bathroom scale. So this thing looks like a regular bathroom scale. It's glass. And this is the type of technology that chiropractors had in their office that was thousands of dollars, even just 10 years ago. Well, now you can get this technology in your bathroom. What is this technology? You stand on it barefoot, and then you take your phone and you download a free app. There's no subscription or anything like that. Don't worry about that. And you basically just set the phone down beside the scale. You stand on the scale, and it will give you not only your weight, it will give you your fat content, your water content. We can tell whether or not you're dehydrated. Is that the issue you're struggling with? Your bone density, your muscle content, your metabolic age. That's a fun one. So if you're 45 years old and this thing says, oh, you're 50, that means that you are aging faster than your actual age. And And some people, like Jodi and I, if you really look after yourselves, you're 50, but it says, for example, I'm 51, and it says I'm 48. So even though my age, my chronological age is 51, my metabolic age, the age at which my body is actually operating at, is 48 years old. So that's a fun one to bring down. So there's a couple of markers, and even the fat around your organs is measured. It's called visceral fat. So visceral
and subcutaneous fat.
And subcutaneous fat, the fat that's under your skin. And you can see these things moving from week to week because this app gives you trends that shows you how things are going, up or down or whatever.
Yep.
And it's really good to see, even after you're done the program with us. I mean, Jodi and I have had these apps on our phone for 2 years.
Yep.
And we still use them. We say, oh man, I was better last summer. What was I doing? Oh, I need to get back on it. And it's a good motivator and it's a good tracking tool. So that's one thing you're going to get. And you don't have to give it back. It's yours. Take it. Keep it. This is yours.
And you can put your whole family on it.
Yeah,
all they have
that's
to
the
do is
greatest thing.
download the app on their phone as well.
Right.
And our son is bulking. And he goes in there once a week, every Tuesday, and he puts his, he gets on the scale and he's like, dang, I did this or didn't do that or whatever.
Right, and he knows. Yeah. He's only 19 and he knows this. So you need one scale, that's it. And then everybody in your family, like Jodi said, can just download the app on their phone and away you go. Now, the thing you got to be careful about, which is kind of funny, is that you can't have your phone near the scale when your spouse is on it because it'll give their numbers to your phone. And we had that happen one time.
And it just messes everything
up.
Oh,
yeah. Then your trends are all out then and everything. But anyhow, so another piece of equipment that we're going to give you to keep, again, this is yours. This is blood monitoring equipment. So if you've ever seen diabetics have one of these little, it looks like a stopwatch. And they put this little thing in the top and they prick their finger and bleed on it. And it tells them how much sugar they've got. Well, we've got a machine that does that, but then something else. It also measures your ketones. Well, what's a ketone? So it measures whether or not you are burning, like I said before a few minutes ago, whether you're burning carbohydrates or whether you're burning fat. And depending on who you are and what we need to be doing with your program, we can tell whether you're burning fats or sugars. And we can modify things and tell how much of that is going on in your body. So that's another cool tool, something that the scale can't do, but this thing can. And again, the scale can tell you things that this thing can't.
Right.
So between those two things and us meeting every week and watching videos, we'll have a really good handle on your health. And the very fact that we have recipes now, well, you're really going to be on track, especially if you just stick with the recipes. I mean, my goodness, this is going to be an amazing program, part of the program we've never had before.
Right.
So something else you get too is, when we do all this stuff, we're going to say, well, we need to be doing more of exercise or whatever, or we need to cut these things out of your pantry. And another thing is, well, you're not taking vitamin D and your vitamin D is really low, and vitamin D is really important for all kinds of things. So you're going to need some vitamin D. So we're going to give you a head start. We're going to give you a $50 gift card at lairdwellness.com. It's good for anything. Something goes on sale for 50% off. Great. You just increase your value to $100.
Right.
I mean, whatever. Do it for whatever you want. You can hang on to it for as long as you want or spend it right away or whatever you need to do. And
we'll wait until we have our first meeting in your blood test
of course.
before you spend it because
you want to know what you have to buy.
Need some stuff. You never know.
Right, because what did we say, right? You don't want to just buy stuff willy-nilly. You want to find out first what you need. So especially do that with our program. Find out what you need and then buy the stuff you need. But a lot of folks find it's really handy. They're able to try stuff. It's a little bit less stressful. Okay, I didn't have to spend any more money on a supplement. I got that. I mean, you get the supplement, $50 worth. You get the scale. You get the bioimpedance, bioimpedance scale, the blood monitoring equipment. So you get all this stuff. You get the recipes. So this is all very inclusive. And even in, like people ask us too, well, okay, so when I get your blood test and I go to LabCorp to get my blood drawn, who do I pay when I'm there? And we're like, you don't pay anybody. You get this program once from us and we take care of the rest. It is all inclusive. Everything is done. Even like all the coaching, all the videos, everything. Everything is included, including the blood test, including the consult. You pay once, done. That's really simple.
You may need more supplements than just the $50.
Well, the $50 is a head start.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, of course you need refills, right? Of whatever.
Right.
So. But it really lets you have a little bit less stress and then really knowing that, okay, I got what I needed. And if it doesn't work, okay, fine.
Right.
But anyway, so there's that. And then there's also, we have something really neat. Since we're, testing your blood and that kind of thing, and we're getting blood test results, and you're thinking, well, okay, who's got access to this? Okay, this is one of the most important parts of the program. If you want your doctor to have those results, of course, it's your choice. You can have the doctor have those results. If you're keeping track of your health, like one lady she had cancer and she was still trying to manage. She hadn't eradicated cancer, but she was managing it, and so she felt it really important to give that to her nurse practitioner and to the hospital. So, yep, we took those results and she gave them to the hospital. So, but you don't have to do that. If you just say, you know what, I hate doctors, I hate nurses. We don't hate them. You hate the system. If you hate the system and you don't ever want to step into it, the thought of hospitals makes you sick, and you don't even want to step into a clinic. But I want to get my blood test. I want to know what I'm up against, but I don't want anybody to know. I don't want a black mark on my life insurance or my anything like this. Okay,
right.
Great. Just do it between us. So you basically take this to LabCorp. LabCorp gives it to us. We talk to you about it. That's as far as it has to go. It's really private. It's really, if you will, under the radar. No one really needs to know about it. Now, if you have Lyme or something like that, a communicable disease, well, certain states are required to tell the health authorities in that state about that so that they can keep track of such things. But beyond that, it's just a private thing. And you don't have to tell anybody, or you can give it to your doctor if you want. So for that, we have a HIPAA-compliant patient portal. It's just like you'd find in any doctor's office.
Yep.
And you can upload results. And in fact, a lot of people say, well, I have all these other test results. Would you like to see these? Oh, of course, that really helps us understand what you're up against. So you can upload all those to the HIPAA compliant patient portal if you want, in addition to the tests that we give you. So everything is there. There's even a chat option where we can chat with you within there so that all the things we talk about are in one place, along with all your results. Everything we talk about, the notes, those are in there too.
Right.
So, and your blood test results, everything is in one spot.
Your questionnaire.
Oh, that's another thing I never even mentioned about this.
Yeah.
So it's not even on our list here. So something you also get at the outset of this is a 125 question survey, so to speak. It's not a survey like, oh, how was your experience with us? Nothing like that. It's really important stuff. Some people see that word survey and they're like, meh, no. This thing is like, this survey is sold separately.
It is.
It's that important.
Actually $195 value just
Right.
for the survey and a consult. And when you say survey, I mean, it's 120 questions or 125, but it's actually a very important piece of the puzzle for you when you are doing your consult.
Right, because just like, those two pieces of equipment, one can tell things that the other can't. Well, a blood test can tell me certain things, but I don't know that you lived in a house with lead paint that was built in the 1930s. I didn't know you had a career as a truck driver for 30 years. I didn't know you let cats on your furniture. I didn't know you had a flood in your house 14 years ago.
Right.
These type of questions are in there to help us understand what's going on. And sometimes they are the missing link.
Right.
So, for example, we had someone who was suffering from, his spouse was suffering from dementia.
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out why. And part of the questionnaire, she had really high, we had a metals test done for her. So she did something a little bit extra. This isn't on the 55 biomarkers, but there was stuff we couldn't figure out. And so they had her do a metals test because she had dementia. We thought, well, maybe metals in the brain, something like that. Mm-hmm. Everything was fine except for one marker that had to do with exhaust fumes. And we're like, exhaust fumes?
Right.
What the heck? So we look on her survey. What did you do for a living? For 25 years, she was a flight attendant. Wait a second. So I start asking her questions based on this. Did you ever, when you're in the back of the airplane, are you fixing drinks for folks and you're making the snacks, all that stuff that we assume that flight attendants do? Yeah, I did that all the time. Okay, all right. So you're stuck in the back of the plane. That's most of the time where the jets are, either on the
wings,
on the wings, or sometimes on the tail. Could you smell the jet fuel when they were filling it? Yeah. And when they started the engines, could you smell it? Oh yeah, but we got used to it. She did this for 25 years, and her husband and I, the lights went on at the same time. Oh my goodness, this is where she does have heavy metals. This could be a contributing cause to her Alzheimer's, and she got it because she worked in the back of an airplane for 25 years.
Right.
So it's these type of questions that are really important that can fill in the blanks. We would never have been able to tell that from a blood test. We'd see this high mark and go, what's that from?
Right.
You know,
I can tell you another story. I've got a million stories, but just one recently was somebody who had, first of all, their questionnaire said they had cats, and yes, they allowed those cats onto the furniture. She had a history of just a lot of ailments. Nobody could ever figure out what was going on. Well, she did our pathogen panel and realized she had high toxoplasmosis. Well, one of the main things you get toxoplasmosis from is cats.
Aha.
That's why they tell you when you're pregnant, don't change the kitty litter or go near kitty litter or even have a cat near you because that kitty litter, I don't know, mixed with the cat urine, or I don't know what happens there, you know, the chemistry of that. But it's toxoplasmosis.
Huh. Wow.
And that can mess with your brain.
So here's another question. So folks get these 2 extra markers. If folks want to do our program, if they want to top it up with like a metals test, can you arrange that?
Absolutely. Metals test, or to me, what's most important, unless you know that you've got some issues with metals, is the pathogen test.
Okay.
You know, we do give 2 bonuses for free, H. pylori and chlamydial antibodies, but I am seeing a lot of Mycoplasma pneumoniae. I'm seeing a lot of toxoplasmosis.
One of those hidden things, right?
Yeah, those hidden things that your regular doctor will probably not test for. You can ask them, and they may do it. Depends what kind of doctor they are. But these are tests that they just don't do anymore.
Well, and the funny thing is, you know, I was listening to something recommended to me by a friend the other day. It was a Joe Rogan interview with this guy who worked with he was a drug rep. He was a drug rep as a young kid. And he discovered all kinds of things about the system that you didn't know. Like, for example, sometimes doctors are pressured not to do certain tests because they cost the insurance company too much. So they're basically not allowed to let these tests go through. So that's why tests are so basic in a regular doctor's office. Whereas with us, there's no insurance involved. It's just, you know, basically cash pay. And it's like we get a good deal on these things because we do it so often. Let's do it. Let's find out what's going on. You know, if your doctor won't do it, fine. Come to us. Let's do it. Let's find out what's going on here.
Yep.
So basically, on top of our regular costs, you could just top it up and just charge the extra, whatever it is. And usually it's not that much. This is the greatest thing about doing tests with Dr. Lewis. Dr. Lewis does not charge nearly as much as other folks do. And because his philosophy is, I want everybody to test. I want everybody to find out what's going on with them without having them cost an arm and a leg and have to pay for it over the next 10 years. Right. So he doesn't mark things up unnecessarily. So prices you see, if you compared them with things you see elsewhere, you'd be like, wow, that can't be the same test. It is. It's who's behind the test is the cost difference.
Right.
Anyway, another thing you get is unlimited tech support with us. So I'll give you my personal number. You can text me anytime you want. A lot of folks, and I'm serious about this, I say when you go to the grocery store and you're going grocery shopping and you're new at this, you're new at picking up things and looking at them and you're not sure what you're looking at, send me a text when you're in the store and show me what you're looking at.
Right.
And I'll help you determine if that's a good thing for you to put in your cart or not. And people are taking me up on it. I got a text the other day. I didn't know who it was from at first. All it was a label. And I'm like, what is this? Oh, okay. Somebody's texted me a label. And they're asking me what the question is. And I'm glad they did. Because they said, well, this looks good. It says they were somebody who was supposed to be doing more of a ketogenic diet, which means less carbohydrates, right? So they said, it says keto on the front. Does it look good? Well, I said, send me the back. Let's see what it looks like. So I looked at the back. It said keto on the front, keto friendly, zero carbs, all that friendly wording, right? Turn it around. Look at the bottom of the ingredient list. That's where you're going to find all your sweeteners that are, you know, nasty for you. Now, by the way, stevia, monk fruit, erythritol, all fine. Okay. But this had sucralose in it. That's another one they try and sneak in. It's a cheap fake, if you will.
Yep.
just so they can put keto on the front and zero carbs. Sure, it's keto. Sure, it's zero carbs. But guess what? Sucralose raises blood sugar. I just did a blog on this. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see, the blog, it's more of a Facebook post, on what sucralose actually does. And it actually raises blood sugar.
I'm proof positive.
It's not good. Yeah, Jodi, it's happened to Jodi.
I was completely, not cheating on my diet or anything on my diet, on my lifestyle. And I had high blood sugar, and I couldn't figure out why. So I eliminated the MIO. That's what I was putting in my water, just
MIO.
To make my water a little bit more tasty, because I'm not a fan of water. I drink it because I have to. And my blood sugar was going up, and I'm like, what the heck? And sure enough, took that MIO out, and did never have that high blood sugar spike again. So I try and use stevia in my water now.
Yep. Crazy stuff. And you'll also be part of a private Facebook group. Now, this is apart from the group that's called Laird Wellness, Make Your Health Make Sense. We have good 500 people in that group now. Thank you for joining. We're going to put lots of special stuff in there for you that we're not going to put elsewhere on Facebook. So you'll get a few extra little things in there. But this is another private group just for folks who do the Biologic Blueprint, which is the name of what we do, 8-week program. And it's the folks who have done the 6-week program and the 12-week program are in there too. So now you have some veterans in there who can help you even apart from us. If you have a question and you're like, oh, Scott couldn't get back to me, he was too busy, go into this private group. A lot of these folks really know what they're doing, and they swap things back and forth. They're really up on their information. Really smart folks in here. And so you get to be a part of that private community. There's only 50, 60 people in there. So it's nice and private. You're not going to be spreading your issues all over with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
So really great. So you get to be a part of that as well. And another thing we'd like to give you is this. After the 8 weeks, it's not quite enough time to see what has happened. You're probably still in the throes of turning things around in your body.
Right.
We like to give things at least 3 months. So remember in the beginning of tonight, I said, we're going to give you 8 weeks, and then we're going to sort of kick you out of the nest. And we're going to give you another at least month to go at it on your own. Remember all the stuff we taught you, and just see if you can live the lifestyle without any help, without your training wheels.
Right.
And just see if you can do it. So you do that for a month and then come back. And when you come back to test, and you can say, you know what, I don't feel like I'm quite ready yet. I think I still want to lose another 5 pounds. Okay, great. We'll see you in another month. Go ahead. Take as long as you want. And when you come back, because you were a member of our 8-week program, we're going to give you 20% off a follow-up test to see how you did. Because one of the greatest things we can do is a side-by-side test, and you would be amazed. Yeah. You'd be amazed. And it's really cool because you can see that, I made progress in these areas. And then a couple areas, maybe that nothing happened. And then we can go, okay, now we know what to do. We have a baseline. We have some results. And now we can see you still need help in this area. And so we can further pinpoint exactly what you need to be doing. Right. And that comes with an hour-long consult as well. And by that point, you're going to be an expert in this stuff. And so you'll know, I need to do this, I need to do that. Yep, I know how this goes. No problem. I got it. And you won't need any more coaching from us. You'll just take that and run with it. And you'll be fine.
Right.
Or maybe you need more testing. Jodi has access to all kinds of tests from Dr. Lewis, whether it's tests for the mouth, the oral DNA,
right.
Whether it's the metals testing or the brain panel that we have, all kinds of stuff. So if we need to really focus on something at that point, you'll know. Yeah. You'll know. And then we can really hone in on that. And by that time, you've really stopped wasting money on supplements you don't need, buying the crap food that you didn't realize was bad for you. All these things that you'll be able to refine your life, and it actually gets easier because now you're not wondering. You know what you need to do.
Right.
You've proven it to yourself. You've got the meters, you've got the scale, you got the apps telling you what's going on. You've got good recipes to lead you through it. You got people to teach you how. Now all you got to do is retain that info and just keep going back to it. I mean, this is life-changing, you guys. So many people's lives have been changed, and we're really happy to see when folks put up on Facebook, hey, you know what? We did the Biologic Blueprint program 6 months ago or a year ago. And here's my husband playing with the grandkids, and he's in the pool, and he still is, is still as fit as ever. And before he was overweight, didn't have any energy. Now he's playing with his grandkids in the pool. And of course, grandma is so happy about it that she tells us about it.
Right.
Now that just tickles us. We love that. So this is really going to be a life-changing thing you're going to be able to do for the rest of your life. So here is a summary of what we have been talking about. There it is there. You get your blood lab and 60-minute consult. You get a customized 8-week meal plan with grocery lists, so you know exactly what to buy, you know exactly what to prepare, how to prepare it, and there's 8 weeks of different meals. Unbelievable. 30-minute progressive coaching sessions every 7 days. I put the word progressive in there because you're going to be learning things. We're going to be building every week. Okay, you did this last week. I want to push you a little more. We're going to do this. And I mean, hey, I'm going to be your coach. I'm going to show you what to do. If you don't do what I asked you to do the week before, I will give you heck. And I will say, why didn't you do that? Come on, this is why you're not having results. And a lot of folks, even after they've done our program, even 12 weeks or so, we had one person who stayed on with us for 6 months.
Yep.
Because she said, I live alone. I need someone to kick me in the butt every week. I need accountability.
And you know what? By the end of that 6 months, she went back to school to learn more about health, to become a health coach. That's how well she did. In fact, I think she's watching and listening tonight.
Yep.
Hi, Virginia.
Yeah, we're very proud of Virginia. And so that's, who knows, you may want to do this too. You might get so psyched about what you're doing, you may want to just learn what we learn. Why not? Help other folks. That's what this is about, you guys. We need to be helping each other before the you-know-what hits the fan. 6 half-hour educational videos with me and Jodi. You'll get all of those. Some of them are like almost an hour long, by the way. Bioimpedance body scanning equipment. That is a fancy word for that scale. You keep it. Blood monitoring equipment. You keep that too. That's the little stopwatch looking thing. A $50 gift card for anything at lairdwellness.com. A HIPAA compliant patient portal where you can put all your stuff and we can keep track and have a really good picture of what's going on with your health. Unlimited tech support, private Facebook group, and 20% off your follow-up blood tests. So, how about all that? Now, how the heck do you find out about all this? Well, we have just created a special page that you can go to. And that page, you get to it by going to, right here, take a look, at the bottom of the screen, lairdwellness.com/8weeks. The number 8 and the word weeks afterward, no hyphens, no nothing, just all run together. So you go to lairdwellness.com/8weeks and you will come to a page that looks like what you're seeing above that. It says, hey, let's do this. Click here to send us an email. We'll send you a link to meet with us and tell you how to sign up for our 8-week blood testing and wellness program. So basically, you go to that webpage, click the link, and that sends us an email with the subject is already built in. So we'll be able to tell what you're asking about and how to contact you, and we will get started. Or we can book some time to talk more about this. If you want to talk about it a little more, ask a few more questions about the price or whatever, we can do that too. So we can arrange that, and it all starts with an email. Again, all you do is go to lairdwellness.com/8weeks. The resulting page, you'll know what to do, and we will talk to you and find out all what you want to learn and what we can teach you. So that is the exciting premiere of our 8-week program.
Right.
We literally just finished it all today. The scans I showed you from that 8-week, the recipes, that was today.
Yep.
So this is brand new, you guys. You're the first ones to know about it. So thank you for watching. If you're interested, again, go to lairdwellness.com/8weeks. There it is one more time. Spread this around, take a screenshot, give it to your friends. We will get in contact with you and we will take it from there, and we will just go on your exciting new journey of health with Laird Wellness. So, well, thank you very much for watching tonight, and we will see you next time. Until then, have a great week. All right?
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. A few more clicks. We'll leave now.